So I'm asking you all to do this, and it made me think as well for myself. Am I giving too much? Am I giving too much? Am I giving too much to clients that's actually overwhelming them and not matching my offer with the audience that I'm dealing with? And by the way, I've recently made some changes with my top level clients. I won't get through that. That's a private conversation, but I realized they need less.
This is Secrets for Success.
Welcome to the Secrets for Success podcast. I'm your host, Greg Todd. Thank you, as always, my friends, for joining me. Okay, today I want to talk about less is more. Yeah, we're going to title this episode Less is More. I think this is a really, really important thing for all of us to understand, and that is understanding value and what is deemed valuable to other people, okay? And I truly, truly, truly am seeing that less is more is the way to go. So I'm going to give you a story on the house that I have in Blue Ridge, Georgia, okay? So that house we call Blue Mountain Cove. By the way, if any of you want to rent it out, just let us know. I use that house probably about 4 to 6 times a year for myself personally. My wife and I will go up there usually 4 times a year. We'll bring the kids or bring a family or some, other family members, usually once or twice a year. But that is what we use the house for. Okay, so that's 6 times a year. There's 52 weeks in a year. So, well, what do we do the other times? All right. So usually 1 week a year, maybe 2, but this year it looks like it's going to be 1. I will run an event, a retreat for my clients, and we go up to Blue Ridge, Georgia. We're actually going to be doing that in July. I think it was like the 19th to the 27th. We're going to be going up there, and my clients get to experience it, and they love the area, right? Because Blue Ridge is just a vibe, it's calm, peaceful. There's deers out in the backyard, and, the place is really modern and techie, because that's me, right? But also it has that country mountain flair. Okay. And y'all know I'm like a black redneck, right? Okay. Anyways. All right. So let's talk about the place. So 6 weeks is for my family and my wife. 1 week is for my clients. So that means that there are 45 more weeks in the year that the place is just sitting empty. And obviously I'm not going to do that. So here's what I have been doing since I've got the place late 2022, December 2020 through January 2023, I guess. And so we've had the place for about 2.5 years, all right? And we rent it out. We rent it out via short-term rentals, okay? Now, I want to tell you guys something. This is so fascinating. So the first year, Carrie and I did it ourselves, right? And we did okay, we rented out. Maybe we had, I don't know, maybe 10 renters or something like that, for the year. It was cool. And we had it on Airbnb primarily, okay? And then last year, we used a company called Escape to Blue Ridge. I think I might have done an episode on Escape to Blue Ridge. I'm not too fond of them, right? But we rented out with them. We got a lot of rentals, but they basically took the majority of the money because their fees are so high, and then they nickel and dimed us on everything else. Okay, so that's that. All right, so now I'm using. I said, you know what? The place is 10 hours away from me. I don't want to be bothered with any problems, even though it's a brand new property. I don't want to be bothered with anything. I still want a property management company to take care of the place, and I'm willing to pay them a fee for them to do that. So we're using this company called Experience North Georgia, and I really, really, really like the founder, the owner of the company. He's a great guy, former pastor, really cool dude, and he really, really is taking care of our place really well. Super well connected, just says what he says, and I can tell he's a man of his word, and I'm really, really enjoying our time with them so far. So anyways, here's what I have noticed. Okay, my home is a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath home, and the first recommendation I said to him is, "Hey, you've been in this business much longer than me." Okay, he has 66 properties. All right. And I only have a couple. So I was like, tell me, if there was one major change you would do, what would you do? He's like, well, you have a 3-bedroom home. I would only rent out 2. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, I'd only rent out 2. He says, because you have it as a 3-bedroom home, you're losing out on so many people. I was like, okay, explain more. Because honestly, I'm ignorant with this. He's like, I look at your home, you have, 1 major bedroom, your king, you have a queen, and then you have these double bunks. Okay. And you are attracting families. I was like, yeah, because I have a family. He's like, yeah. And because of that, you're not getting as much rentals as what you could. And so I said, okay, continue. So he said this. He said, well, if we locked up one of your rooms and we just acted like the place was a 2-bedroom instead of a 3-bedroom, okay, we'll change the lock. We'll make sure that nobody can get in that room. Nobody will even really know it's a bedroom there. We can rent it out as a 2-bedroom. And he says, and it will rent out double to triple the amount of time. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, because think about it. He says, a lot of people are working, they're working remotely. So you are losing out on all those people that are either couples, they're just a couple, and they're working remotely. And they want to work the week in Blue Ridge, Georgia. Some people just want to be on their laptop and see the mountains, and that's what they want. They want to see the woods and the trees and the deer and whatnot. And they can book Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He's like, when were you getting all your bookings with Escape to Blue Ridge? I said, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday if it was a holiday. He's like, yeah, because guess who you're attracting? Families. Yeah, because you're attracting families. He's like, now you are going to be able to get all the people that work remotely, all the people that want to continue to work, but they just want to be in a different place, all the people that can actually go on a work getaway and still work, but just work from a different location. You're opening yourself up to a totally new audience. He's like, and those people actually want to come to your place Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, when your place is sitting dormant. So he's like, I know I'm going to be able to double, if not triple, your rentals by just doing that. I was like, so I don't have to add another bedroom? No. He's like, he's like, actually, if you had 4 bedrooms, it'd be worse. He's like, it'd be better off if you have 2 bedrooms. And I started thinking about this. And I want you to think about this as well. If you were going away with you and your spouse or your partner, are you going to rent a 3-bedroom place? No, because you're going to be like, that's too much. You automatically feel as though I'm wasting it. So even if the place is $150 a night, you're going to be like, wow, I'm getting ripped off because I'm only using 1 bedroom and there's 3. But most of the time when my wife and I go away by ourselves, and if we're going to get an Airbnb, we'll get either a big 1-bedroom or we'll get a 2-bedroom because we want to make sure we're not like, we don't like that tiny home claustrophobic thing. You know what I mean? But we just want to have something that's spacious, but we don't need 3 bedrooms. There's no need for it. Guess what, y'all? He was right. That sucker's rented out right now. And it looks like, and by the way, this is a low season in Blue Ridge, and it looks like it's going to rent out quite a bit. I've never had people rent it in the week unless it's summer and it's fall season time where people get off a week with their families. And so what I realize that everything is about the audience. And here I am, Mr. Marketer guy, and I never picked that up. I want you all to think about this. And it's so interesting because last week I actually did a workshop for clients, helping them with figuring out who's the audience that they're going to serve. And I realized that my offer wasn't matching up in the way that I wanted it to match up. Now, do I not want to have family? Look, I have a family. I want families to rent it out because I want to feel what I feel. But I realized that in April, ain't no families coming. May, there's no families coming. June, kids get out of school. There might be families coming. July, there'll be some families coming. August, the kids go back to school. Ain't no families coming. I want the place rented out all the time. And I want the place rented out in January, February, March. I want the place rented out in the week because every day that it stays dormant is potential income that I could be making. And I didn't realize it and realize the mistake I was making until I realized that my audience didn't match up with the offer. You're not going to get a couple or couples to go to a place that is showing a 3rd bedroom with double bunks. But you will get a couple or 2 couples going to a place that has a king room, a queen room, a pool table, and a really, really nice sofa and a really nice balcony. Okay. And a really nice deck. Yes, they'll go to that. And so less is more. So I'm asking you all to do this. And it made me think as well for myself. Am I giving too much? Am I giving too much? Am I giving too much to clients that's actually overwhelming them and not matching my offer with the audience that I'm dealing with? And by the way, I've recently made some changes with my top level clients. I won't get through that. That's a private conversation, but I realize they need less. I believe they need less. And if they trust me, then they'll do it. Right. But I believe that they need less. They don't need all the things. I know for me, like when I'm part of, whether it's consulting or coaching programs or this, like I don't want all the things. And actually the more things you give me, it just makes me feel guilty that I'm not utilizing all of them. And I don't want you wasting my time. I just give me what I need to be able to move my business and move myself forward. Period. The end. That's all I want. And I feel like that's really what it comes down to. So with that said, I hope that helps you and I hope that serves you. And what I have been doing is I've actually been doing these workshops. By the way, not 2-day workshops, not 3-day workshops, but I actually did a workshop with a group of clients recently where it was 2 hours. It actually took me 1 hour and 45 minutes for a wave of new clients to come into my world and for us to be able to find an audience that would make sense for us to present their future online offers to. And that's a hard thing in healthcare. A lot of people don't know who the audience is. And we were able to do that using, next gen intelligence, using ChatGPT, using some of the newer features of it to find audiences and things that would take me months to be able to do in the past. So anyways, I feel like I'm going to be doing that more because I feel like many of us are actually, we're dropping the ball and we're not dialing in to our audience matching the offer that we want to make to people. And so anyways, if that's you, just text me audience workshop to 813-534-6453. I want to talk to you because I think I'm going to be doing this much more in the future. If your audience is not matching up to your offer, you have no shot. The audience is the most important thing. Once you understand your audience, you know what they want, you know what they need, you can then create an offer that they will take. And if you don't do that and just throw a whole bunch of stuff, they're not going to take anything. So anyways, I hope that helps you. I hope that serves you. And I'll see you on the next episode.